Welcome back to the Metabolic Revolution podcast. I'm Dr. Steve Presciutti, and today we're going after the biggest sacred cow in the fitness industry, protein. If you're forcing down protein shakes, choking on chicken breast, or tracking every gram like your life depends on it, this episode is going to set you free. Real quick, this podcast is educational only, not medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. Now let's challenge everything you've been told. This is episode 7, and we're building on everything we've covered. We've exposed how PUFAs destroy your cells, revealed energy as the key to everything, shown you the gut metabolism connection, rehabilitated sugar's reputation, debunked the cholesterol myth, and freed you from salt restriction. Today, we're taking on the protein obsession that's literally stressing people into metabolic dysfunction. The idea that more protein equals more muscle, better metabolism, and improved health? It's not just oversimplified, it's metabolically ignorant, and I'm going to show you why. Get ready to question everything your gym bro, nutritionist, or favorite influencer has told you about protein, because the truth is going to shock you. Let's start with where this obsession came from. The fitness industry has convinced us that we need 1 gram per pound of body weight. Some even push 1.5 or 2 grams. For a 180-pound person, that's 180 to 360 grams of protein daily. Our ancestors would laugh at this insanity. Here's what traditional diets actually looked like. The Ketovans, with their exceptional health and zero obesity, got about 10% of calories from protein. The Hadza hunter-gatherers in Tanzania get around 15 to 20%. Even the Maasai, known for their animal-based diet, only got about 19% of calories from protein. These populations all have excellent muscle mass, bone density, and metabolic health. But here's where the biochemistry gets interesting. When you eat protein, your body has to deal with it. Unlike carbs and fats, you can't store excess protein. Every gram above your actual needs must be processed. And that processing, it's metabolically expensive. Protein deamination, stripping the nitrogen from amino acids, happens primarily in your liver. This process requires energy and produces ammonia, which must be converted to urea and excreted. It's a stress on your system. The more excess protein you eat, the harder your liver works. But it gets worse. That deaminated protein, it gets converted to glucose through gluconeogenesis. Yes, that same stress pathway we talked about in the sugar episode. You're literally forcing your body to make glucose the hard way, with all the cortisol and metabolic stress that entails. I had a client, competitive bodybuilder, eating 300 grams of protein daily, constantly tired, terrible sleep, freezing cold, anxiety through the roof. His cortisol was sky high. His thyroid markers were tanked. He was aging rapidly despite being 28. We cut his protein to 150 grams, increased carbs, and he actually gained muscle while feeling human again. Let's dive deep into gluconeogenesis, because this is where the protein is good narrative completely falls apart. When you eat more protein than you need for structure and enzymes, which is surprisingly little, your body must convert the excess to glucose. This isn't a clean, efficient process like metabolizing dietary carbohydrates. Gluconeogenesis requires cortisol activation. It uses up ATP, costing energy rather than providing it. It produces metabolic stress that ages your cells. Here's the biochemistry. Converting amino acids to glucose requires removing the amino group, deamination, processing it through the urea cycle, then converting the carbon skeleton to glucose precursors. This happens primarily in the liver and kidneys. The energy cost? About 33% of the calories in the protein are lost just in conversion. Compare that to eating glucose directly, nearly 100% efficient absorption and utilization. You're literally choosing the most metabolically stressful way to fuel your body when you rely on excess protein for energy. And the hormonal cascade? Devastating. High protein intake stimulates glucagon, the opposite of insulin. While some glucagon is necessary, chronic elevation opposes the anabolic actions of insulin. You're literally putting your body in a catabolic state while trying to build muscle. The irony is painful. The research backs this up. Studies on protein overfeeding show increased cortisol, decreased thyroid hormone, and impaired insulin sensitivity. You're creating the exact metabolic environment that prevents muscle growth and promotes aging. Now let's talk about something the fitness industry completely ignores: amino acid balance. Not all proteins are created equal, and the amino acid methionine is particularly problematic in excess. Methionine is high in muscle meats, chicken breast, lean beef, fish. It's an essential amino acid, but in excess it's literally pro-aging. High methionine intake increases oxidative stress, impairs methylation, and has been shown to decrease lifespan in every organism studied. Here's where traditional diets had it right. They balanced methionine-rich muscle meats with glycine-rich foods like bone broth, skin, and gelatin. Glycine opposes many of methionine's negative effects. It's anti-inflammatory, supports detoxification, and improves sleep. But modern high-protein diets? All methionine, no glycine. You're creating an amino acid imbalance that accelerates aging. This is why traditional cultures prize the odd bits: skin, bones, organs. They intuitively understood balance. The methionine restriction research is mind-blowing. Animals fed lower methionine diets live up to 40% longer. They have better insulin sensitivity, lower oxidative stress, and improved mitochondrial function. Yet we're pushing people to eat more and more methionine-rich proteins. I recommend a glycine to methionine ratio of at least 1:1, ideally 2:1. That means for every serving of muscle meat, you need gelatin, collagen, or bone broth. Or, radical idea, just eat a little less protein and get your energy from carbs like your body actually wants. This is where it connects to everything we've been discussing. High-protein diets suppress thyroid function. The mechanism is clear. Excess protein increases gluconeogenesis demands, which elevates cortisol, which suppresses TSH and T4 to T3 conversion. But there's another mechanism that's even more direct. High protein intake, especially without adequate carbohydrates, lowers liver glycogen. Your liver needs glycogen to convert T4 to active T3. No glycogen means impaired thyroid hormone activation. The studies on this are shocking. Protein intakes above 25% of calories consistently show decreased T3 levels. Remember, T3 is your active thyroid hormone, the master controller of metabolic rate. You're literally slowing your metabolism in the name of muscle building. I see this pattern constantly. Women especially trying to tone up, eating protein at every meal, avoiding carbs. They're cold, exhausted, losing hair, can't lose weight despite eating 1,200 calories. Their reverse T3 is high, their T3 is low, and their metabolism is crawling. The solution? Moderate protein, 50 to 80 grams for most women, 70 to 120 for most men. Get your energy from carbohydrates. Support your thyroid instead of suppressing it. Watch your metabolism come back online. This is exactly what we teach in our Bioenergetic Reset program. We show you how to find your optimal protein intake, not some arbitrary number based on your weight, but the amount that supports your metabolism. At $133 a month, it's a fraction of what people spend on protein supplements that are literally making them sicker. But protein keeps me full. I hear this constantly. Yes, protein is satiating because it's hard to digest and sits in your stomach. But satiety isn't the goal. Energy is the goal. Metabolic health is the goal. You know what else is satiating? Adequate calories from easily digested sources. When your cells have enough energy, true satiety follows. The constant hunger many people experience isn't from lack of protein. It's from cellular energy deficiency. High-protein diets often create a false sense of satiety while starving you at the cellular level. You're full but tired, satisfied but cold, not hungry but metabolically suppressed. It's like putting a governor on your engine and calling it efficiency. Real satiety comes from balanced meals with adequate carbohydrates, moderate protein, and quality fats. Your blood sugar stays stable. Your cells get energy. Your thyroid stays happy. You're satisfied and energized. The obsession with protein for satiety has created a generation of metabolically suppressed people who can't understand why they're tired all the time. They're following the rules, hitting their protein targets, but their bodies are screaming for actual fuel. Let's destroy the biggest myth in fitness, that protein is inherently anabolic. The bros will tell you protein builds muscle. Eat more protein, build more muscle. Simple, right? Dead wrong. Here's what actually drives anabolism: insulin and thyroid hormone. Insulin is the most anabolic hormone in your body. It drives nutrients into cells, stimulates protein synthesis, and prevents protein breakdown. And what stimulates insulin? Carbohydrates, not protein. Thyroid hormone determines your overall metabolic rate and protein synthesis capacity. High thyroid function equals efficient protein utilization. Low thyroid function, from things like excessive protein intake, means impaired protein synthesis regardless of intake. The research on this is clear. Studies comparing moderate protein with adequate carbs versus high protein with low carbs show better muscle retention and growth with the moderate protein group. Why? Better hormonal environment. You need surprisingly little protein for muscle growth. About 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound of lean mass is plenty. The rest of your calories should come from carbs to create the hormonal environment that actually supports anabolism. This is why old-school bodybuilders in the 40s and 50s built incredible physiques on moderate protein. They didn't have protein powder. They ate real food, including plenty of carbohydrates. They understood energy, not just macros. Look at the longest-lived populations. The Okinawans before Westernization, 9% of calories from protein. The Nicoyans of Costa Rica, about 12%. The Sardinians, 15%. None of these populations were obsessing about protein intake, yet they had excellent muscle mass into old age. What did they eat? Roots, tubers, fruits, vegetables, with small amounts of animal protein. They got their energy from carbohydrates. They ate nose to tail when they did eat animals. They balanced amino acids naturally. These populations also had something else in common: low methionine intake relative to glycine. They made broths. They ate gelatinous cuts. They didn't waste anything. Every part of the animal was used, creating natural amino acid balance. Compare this to modern protein obsession: protein powders stripped of cofactors, lean meats devoid of glycine, and all in massive quantities that overwhelm detoxification. We've taken something simple and made it complicated and harmful. The centenarians in these populations weren't counting protein grams. They were eating real food in proportions that supported metabolic health, energy from carbs, structural needs from moderate protein, cofactors from whole foods. So what should you actually do? First, calculate your needs based on lean mass, not total weight. If you're 180 pounds at 20% body fat, you have 144 pounds of lean mass. You need about 85 to 115 grams of protein. That's it. Get this from whole food sources: eggs, nature's perfect protein with ideal amino acid ratios. Dairy, if you tolerate it, provides excellent protein with growth-promoting factors. Shellfish, incredibly nutrient-dense with balanced aminos. Gelatin, to balance the methionine in muscle meats. Time your protein intelligently. A serving at each meal, but don't force it. If you're hungry for fruit and honey at breakfast, eat that. Your body knows what it needs better than any calculator. And here's the key: fill the rest of your calories with easy-to-digest carbohydrates. Fruit, honey, root vegetables, white rice. Give your body the energy it craves instead of forcing it to make glucose from protein. Monitor your temperature and pulse. As you reduce protein and increase carbs, both should rise. Your hands should warm up. Your energy should stabilize. Your sleep should improve. These are signs your metabolism is healing. If you're struggling to break free from protein obsession and want personalized guidance, our one-on-one coaching helps you find your optimal intake. We look at your health history, current status, and goals to create a plan that actually supports your metabolism, because you deserve better than one-size-fits-all protein recommendations. Here's what this all comes down to. We've complicated something simple. Protein is for structure: muscles, enzymes, hormones. Carbohydrates are for energy. When you try to make protein do carbohydrates' job, you create metabolic stress. The fitness industry profits from complexity. Protein powders, amino acid supplements, meal timing protocols, it's all designed to make you dependent on products and programs. But health is simple: real food in appropriate proportions, energy when you need it, rest when you don't. Your body is incredibly intelligent when you stop interfering. It knows how much protein it needs. It knows when it needs energy. The constant tracking, measuring, and forcing, that's not health. That's orthorexia dressed up as optimization. Trust your instincts. If you're craving fruit, eat fruit. If you're cold and tired despite perfect macros, something's wrong. If you need coffee to function despite high protein intake, you're energy deficient. Listen to these signals. Look, I know this challenges everything you've been told. The fitness industry, your trainer, maybe even your doctor, they all push high protein. But the evidence is clear. Excessive protein ages you, suppresses your metabolism, and creates stress. You came here because what you've been doing isn't working. You're tired of being tired. You're done forcing down protein shakes. You want to feel alive again. Well, here's your permission to stop the madness. Moderate your protein. Embrace carbohydrates. Support your thyroid. Trust your hunger. This isn't about being lazy or giving up. It's about working with your biology instead of against it. If you're ready to break free from macro counting and actually optimize your metabolism, our Energy Reset Essentials mini course gives you the exact framework. For $39, you get the protein strategies that actually support health, not just hit arbitrary numbers. For those who want comprehensive support, our Bioenergetic Reset program provides everything: meal plans that satisfy without stress, weekly group calls, and a community of people getting real results. At $133 a month, it's less than most people spend on protein powder that's making them sicker. Okay, next week we're diving into another controversial topic: exercise. What if I told you that your workout routine might be destroying your metabolism, that less could actually be more? Get ready to rethink everything about fitness. This is Dr. Steve Presciutti reminding you. You didn't come here for more rules. You came for the truth. And the truth is, your body wants to thrive. You just need to stop forcing it into submission with excessive protein and start supporting it with real nutrition. Remember, this has been educational information only. Work with a qualified healthcare provider to create your personalized approach to nutrition and health. The revolution continues. You came to the right place. Let's talk.